started. Well, thank you all for joining us this evening on what is certainly a very special occasion, as we're here this evening to pay tribute and recognize this past year's retirees from our school system. The 2015-16 school year saw the retirement of 16 of our employees, 8 of whom were classroom teachers, 6 service personnel, 1 principal, and 1 of our central office directors. I did the math this afternoon, just looking at Brenda had given me the number of years of experience for each of our retirees, and this group represents a little over 455 years of dedicated and faithful service to the children and local communities of our county throughout the years. That's just phenomenal when you look at that number. But we're here to honor you this evening, and we certainly hope that all of you are able to enjoy the carefree, slow-paced, do what you want kind of lifestyle I hear about that goes along with being retired. As many of our former retirees have told me, you know, being retired is wonderful. Every day is like Saturday. So, which sounds great to me, you know, that you could have that kind of lifestyle. But we certainly, you know, on behalf of the board, you know, just a heartfelt thank you this evening for all that you've done for our children, our students. Your service has certainly been appreciated. But before we get into recognizing individuals this evening, I just want to take a few minutes to introduce to you our board and central office staff who are here this evening. I'm not so sure that we all don't already know one another as I look around. But in case, you know, you bumped your head and suffered amnesia or something, Dana has, yeah. Directly behind me, we have, and I'm standing right in front of you, is board member Larry Wilkerson, who drove some unusual audience. Not sure what's happened there. Beside Larry, we have our vice president of the board, Mr. Fred Curry. And we have our board president, Steve Priestley, with us this evening. Board member Rowdy Baker, board member Carol Smith. Also joining us this evening is my assistant, Bill Linville. And I see our fellow programs director is here, Mr. Kirk King. As well as our receptionist, see Tina Black, our custodian, Doug Miller, who's worked so hard to get the building ready. It's hard to believe that we're getting ready to start another school year in a few weeks. And certainly, most importantly for me, is my secretary, Brenda Powell. Brenda, thank you so much for planning and organizing this activity this evening. I know you spent hours in preparation. Thank you so much for all you. You're wonderful. Also, I'd like to recognize and a special thank you to Sean Donahue. As always, Sean, thank you for being here to cover these activities and all the support you give us throughout the school year. It's greatly appreciated.
Thank you, sir.
Have I missed anyone? Okay. I would like to ask the board to come up front, because I'm going to have you all take turns handing out the gifts that we have. Brenda, you want to take a moment to explain to everyone what each one of our retirees is going to receive this evening?
We haven't bothered about a retirement dinner in a long time. I told Mr. Lucas, I thought it was down at the Hamlin Community Center many years ago, and we got out of the habit of doing it, we probably remembers, but we wanted to get something special. I know Tina always goes to Bleako Glass at Milton for gifts at Christmas time, and she gets so excited about it, and I thought, well, I'm going to get Tina to go with me, and we'll go up there and see what we can find. And we went one day last week and got gifts, and they are a traditional water bottle that is beautiful, I think, and they're different colors. And you'll get a color, and if you want to change with your friend, you can, but the only one I was particular about was my friend Dana, and it's blue. WBU. His name's on one of those. Everyone else you can certainly exchange if you want a different color. I wanted to give Kim tangerine. I thought, well, you know, she's probably not collecting orange anymore.
Look at Danny.
She's still yellow. But these water bottles have been around for years, and
1938.
a lot of people collect them with their school's insignia on them, but it has a little history on a card that'll tell you something, but they're just really pretty, and I think that everyone will like them, I hope.
Thank you. Okay, I'll begin with Teresa Chapman. Teresa sitting back there. Teresa was hired as a substitute teacher for Lincoln County Schools in 1986, and the following year became a full-time 5th grade teacher at Ranger Elementary. Teresa's career, spanning 28 and a half years, saw her teaching in classrooms at not only Ranger Elementary, but Midkiff Elementary, Guy Valley, Griffithsville Elementary, as well as Hamlin Elementary and middle school. Teresa has experienced some pretty serious health issues over the years, but always wanted to come back for her students. At last, these health issues brought her somewhat early retirement this past September 30th after teaching at Hamlin for 18 years. I'm so glad you could be here with us this evening and accompanied by your daughter. And I'd like for you to come up front so that we can present you with a token of our appreciation. Just don't give her names. This is very informal. If anyone has anything they'd like to say, regarding one of our retirees, or if you have something you'd like to say, you're welcome to. You're very welcome.
It's been on a journey.
Let me get out.
I don't stand very long.
You want
Look at that.
All right. 3, 2, 3, 2, 1. Thank you.
Camera shot.
a little bit. Vicki Samples. Vicki began her teaching career at her high school alma mater, Hamlin High School, in 1980. She's taught hundreds of our students over the years the fine skills of typing, accounting, shorthand, computers, keyboarding, information management, and all things business. She's worked at Harts High School, Duval High School, Lincoln County High School, in addition to her 17 years that she worked at Hamlin High School. Vicki embraced the continual changes and improvements in the area of technology and was able to help her co-workers more comfortably use technology. I was one of them. I can testify. And opened the world of technology to her students over the many years. Vicki retired on June the 30th after 37 years of service. Vicki, if you come up.
All I can say, it's been wonderful.
Tana Davis. That's you, right? Tana's an outstanding, excellent science, biology teacher. I had the privilege of working with a couple of years at Duval when I first began my career. Mr. Wilkerson was principal at the time. It's hard to believe that, for me, I'm starting year number 30, so I mean, it's
I
gone
still
by
think
quickly.
of myself as young. So
You are, that's right. Tana was employed at Duval High School for 16 years and transferred to her high school alma mater, Hamlin High School, in 2001. When the new high school opened in 2006, Tana taught science there until her return to Hamlin in 2012. Over the years, Tana has mentored science teachers, coached cheerleaders, and majorettes. And she retired June the 30th of this year after 32 years in the professions. Tana, if you'll come up front. Did you? Was
Yeah,
you
my
at Guy
very
Valley?
first year was
Is
at
that
Guy
right?
Valley. So I'm just looking, he was one of my principals,
He was my softball coach. He was my social studies teacher.
I knew that was
Fifth and sixth grade.
She was just a kid when she started.
What's my cane?
Okay, 3, 2, 1, thank you.
Kim Lovejoy Clayton. Kim began her career teaching at Hamel Elementary School in 1979 and started coaching girls basketball the same year. Kim spent 27 years as a Bobcat, teaching either physical education or health, and sometimes both, at Hamel while coaching both junior high and varsity girls basketball. When Lee County High School opened in 2006, Kim transferred there as a health teacher and the head coach of the Lady Panthers basketball team, as well as the school's very capable athletic director. Kim wanted a career change in 2009 when she became the principal at Duval PKA and worked for 7 years there, retiring on July 31st this year. A real career change has taken place for Kim, as many of you know. She was elected as one of the county's 2 magistrates in the primary election this year and will take office August 1st, right? And was sworn in today. Did you say at 1 o'clock?
Sworn in today.
Kim, we wish you the best of luck, and you know, every day may not be Saturday for you yet. leaving one career and moving into another one, but we do wish you all the luck in your new career. Hope you'll come back around and see us and work on the calendar, like when the calendar.
Definitely, all
Need
you
your
do is
help
call.
on the calendar. So if you'd come up, Kim, we appreciate it.
I'm breaking Danny in by working every other week. He's not ready for me to be
Kim
gone.
loves to work on the school calendar.
Thank you very much.
Kim, you don't want to get too comfortable, that's only 4 years.
Yes, that's the words of Betty. It's only a 4-year job.
Tell them what I told you.
3, 2,
What did you tell me?
About those 7 days you're off, we're gonna have to find you.
Danny's looking for another job.
Hey, this is a big adjustment for me.
Those are the honeydew days.
That's right. All right, Dana Smith. Dana Smith retired June 30th as our county's maintenance director. He began his career with Lincoln County Schools as a purchasing agent in 1983, right out of college, West Virginia University. He served as purchasing agent to becoming the maintenance director in 1991. In 2000, he was given a temporary extra assignment as the transportation director while still serving in the maintenance department. This temporary assignment lasted 10 years. He still thanks David Roach for returning him to simply just being the maintenance director in 2010. Dana's probably attended more SBA meetings, asbestos trainings, facilities conference, safety meetings, staff meetings, and let's not forget board meetings that he probably cares to remember. His job may have changed over the years, but Dana remained a loyal, hard-working administrator who some of us spent a lot of time laughing at over the years. I could tell stories all evening. We didn't hide any ridicule from him because he was always a great confessor of whatever sins he had. He just laughed along with us. Dana, thank you for 33 great years and certainly some fond memories for all of us. If you'd come up front. You get the special box.
Thank you very much. All I have to say is I will not be available for any trades, thanks to green. It is my favorite color.
It is green and white, by the way.
Then maybe I will be
Sit down.
I'll take your orange.
That's everyone that's here this evening, right? I am going to take the time, if you will indulge me, to read about our other retirees. I just think it's important that we recognize them, although they couldn't be with us this evening. Laura Fry. Laura Fry worked in countless classrooms after starting her career in 1991 and taught a variety of subjects ranging from adult basic education, a job training partnership program, working with young children and their parents, and the Even Start program. A long-term substitute teacher and finally retiring as a second grade teacher at West Hamlin Elementary, Laura was forced into early retirement in August of 2015 due to serious health issues, but was such a devoted educator for 14 years. Also not able to join us this evening, is retired, is Betsy Brazil. Betsy Brazil indicated to us earlier that she wouldn't be able to attend because of a prior commitment. Betsy's one of the longest serving employees that ever worked in our school system. She retired on December 31st after working for 43 years. Starting in 1975 at Duval High School. Betsy worked for 5 years also at Midkiff Elementary, 3 at Branchville Elementary, 3 more years back at Duval High School, and then as a math teacher at Guy Valley High School, which eventually became Guy Valley Middle. I think she and Gerald Hartley, for several years, had a friendly competition going on who retired first or hang on the longest. But certainly not the same at Guy Valley without Betsy being there. Deborah McCullough is also retired this year. Deborah actually began her teaching career in 3rd grade in Kentucky in 1977. I certainly believe that all the students were truly blessed when it came to her and her teaching of reading language arts while she worked in our school system. Debbie, she finished out her career at Hamlin Elementary, and she retired September 2015. I think Mr. Wilkerson, she worked under you as well.
Yes, she did. Back in the 80s.
Debbie was the county's Teacher of the Year in 2006, certainly a well-deserved honor, and at the time was described as a consummate professional, true leader, and a teacher who truly believed in practice, that there was not a student in her class who couldn't achieve mastery of their skills. Debbie served in Lincoln County Schools for 31 years. Karen Porter began her 33-year teaching career in Lincoln County as a 1st grade teacher at Branchville Elementary in 1982. Transferred to 2nd grade the following year, remained there for 6 years before moving to what I always thought was a natural fit for her, and that was a teacher of 5th grade students. Mrs. Porter was dedicated and passionate 5th grade teacher, not only at Branchland, but also at West Hamlin Elementary, where she served until her retirement this past July 2015. We always knew that 5th grade students from Branchland and West Hamlin were fortunate enough to have Mrs. Porter as a teacher, would be fully prepared for middle school. She was always dedicated to the student success. Karen Brumfield. Before coming to Lincoln County in 1991, Karen Brumfield taught neighboring Logan County for 2 years. She taught at that time what was called Chapter 1. Sometimes I forget that. It was called Chapter 1 before it was called Title 1. At Aikenville Elementary for 15 years when all of our schools were restructured in 2006. Karen never really ever moved out of the building. She spent her entire career at Harts. And she had some of her own health issues as well as caring for her mother, which brought on an early retirement for her in May of this past year. Karen was with us for 26 years. Betty Watts. Christina Mounts, principal of Ranger Elementary, tells us that she's not sure school will open on time this year because Betty's retired at the end of the year. She just relies on her so much. And she won't be there to greet the students as she's done for countless years. Of course, I'm sure Ranger will open and will operate just fine. It certainly is going to be different. Betty was the kind of classroom aide who went way beyond her required duties and could be counted on to take on any task, no matter how large or small. I know the children at Ranger will miss her smile and miss her genuine kindness this year. Betty worked in our system for 36 years as an ESEA aide, a special ed aide, and an aide in Chapter 1 and Title I classrooms, as well as an instructional aide before retiring this past June. Most of her years were spent at Ranger Elementary. She began her teaching career at Aytonville Elementary, worked for a couple of years at Harts High, 10 years at Midkiff, and then on to Griffithsville Elementary during her time with us. Certainly she'll be missed. Kathy Atkins. Kathy was hired as a substitute aide for the county in 1984, and every year worked in that capacity until her seniority finally allowed her to be hired as a full-time aide in 1992. Over her career, Kathy worked in a total of 7 schools, probably more than any other we've honored this evening. She worked at Duval High, Hamlin High, McCorkle, Midway Elementary, Branson Elementary, and Hamlin PKA, as well as being assigned as a county bus classroom aide. Kathy attained a credential as an early childhood classroom assistant teacher and retired from one of the kindergarten classrooms at Hamlin this past June. Jerry Adkins. Jerry Adkins was employed as a full-time bus operator shortly after graduating from Harts High School in 1978. Jerry was hired as a regular driver before the requirement that you had to be hired as a substitute first. He was earning seniority back before he even knew how important seniority would become. Shortly after coming to work, Jerry married his wife, Lisa, and it was important for him to be able to support his family. He bid on countless extracurricular supplemental jobs over the years. He was a credit recovery driver out of Harts, activities run driver for Harts, itinerant driver for the new high school, after school in the Harts area, summer camp driver, the list goes on and on. The majority of the sick days that were used for Jerry was due to his wife's health issues, as she was declining in health, and he donated several days to her. Jerry was certainly a valued and dedicated employee of our school system for over 33 years. Diana Gail Brunfield. Gail Brunfield was hired as a substitute cook for the county in 1984 and worked as a substitute in many schools until she was employed as a regular cook in 1993. Gail worked at Hamlin Junior High, Dime Valley High School, West Hamlin Elementary, Farrellsburg Elementary, Ranger Elementary, Harts Intermediate, and opened the new kitchen at Harts PKA in 2012 as a cook 3. Gail was always a smiling face in the school kitchen. Students as well as the staff in the building loved her. She welcomed new challenges and never failed to help her coworkers when she was needed. Gail retired this past June after 22 years of service. Donna Jean Harless, which is Gail Brunfield's sister, worked as a substitute cook from 1985 through 1996 when she became a halftime cook at Dime Valley High School. Jean went on from there to work at Ranger, Hamlin, West Hamlin, and then at Harts. She retired after 15 years of service last June. She and her sister Gail were recognized by the Harts administration as being extremely capable and hardworking. She could perform her duties with little or no supervision, and I commend both of them on their excellent service to our school system over the years. And finally, Jackie Porter. Jackie Porter worked as a substitute cook for 5 years before being hired as a halftime cook at Ranger Elementary in 2007. Jackie also worked at Dime Valley Middle, West Hamlin Elementary, as well as a full-time cook at Hamlin PKA. Jackie retired on June the 30th after 11 years as a regular employee. Again, I would just like to thank all of you, those of you who are in attendance, those who couldn't be with us this evening, for your dedication and commitment to the school system and the children of this county, and all those little ones that have benefited from what you've done throughout the years. You're going to be greatly missed, I can tell you that. There's no question. It's never the same with people when they leave. I wish you all the best in your retirement. And of course, I hope that you will come back and visit with us when you get the opportunity. Is there anything the board would like to say?
Thank you for the many years of service.
Absolutely.
I'd like to echo that, and also, it seems so many people's names, some are here and some aren't, or, having worked in the school system, I've worked with many of them in different capacities. Donna had mentioned that, I had her in grade school. So, but there's others that I taught with. And I remember when Dana Joe, he went behind the ears when he came to work here. We said, look at that little fella coming over there. It's, just once again, like Mr. Midkiff said, just appreciate all you all have done. We hope Mr. Wilkerson, I hope to see you at our retiree meetings. You've already, if you haven't gotten that information yet, let me know. You should have already gotten that. We hope that you can come and join us and be a part and see some of the people you've worked with in the past. But, some of your friends, our friends, some of our colleagues, and some of our kids. And I've seen your postings lately where, someone's posted, anybody that you ever had in school is always your kid, My wife, whenever she goes to the store, well, I saw one of my kids, and half the time she doesn't remember who they are, but she just goes to work with them. And but once again, just thank you and appreciate all you've done for our kids here in our county.
Thank you, Mr. Precinct. I always say there's no better way to celebrate. I don't care what you do. What you celebrate than by eating food. And we have a nice spread out there. Brenda's worked again tirelessly, along with the help of Tina there today, to prepare this meal for you. So it's all set up in the hallway out there for you. So if you would like, go ahead and go on out and get you something to eat. Come on back in here and join us. We can hang out for a little while before the board meeting begins at 6 p.m.